Hi everyone, welcome to Dancing Through Love and Life. This podcast is here to help you move through love, life and dance with more ease, connection and joy. I'm Marianne, your host, and just a woman who found through partner dance a way to get to know myself, to understand my relationships in a completely new way. What just started as dancing became a journey of transformation. And today I help others to create more connection and trust in their own relationships. If you are interested in love, life, and yes, also dance, then you're in the right place. Hello, and welcome, Kiran, to the podcast Dancing Through Love and Life. I'm very happy to welcome you as a guest speaker today. And when I decided to do the podcast, I knew, okay, Kiran will be my guest, because I really enjoyed our first conversation on Instagram Live, where we talked about partner dance, communication without words, like it's a body communication. And in my point of view, I knew, okay, we need to do a second version. We need to do a follow-up. And this is the follow-up. So for everyone who missed the Instagram Live, it's your chance now. And first of all, I would like to introduce you, Kiran. Kiran, you're a dancer, teacher, organizer in London. So your passion is Argentino Tango.
Correct, yes.
And you share a lot about also confidence and the connection between people in partner dance. And I think this is the reason why we also resonate together and our work is resonating. And I'm really looking forward to what we share this podcast episode. And before we start with all the questions, I would like to give you the stage and introduce yourself.
Yes. Well, Marianne, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here. As Marianne said, I'm an Argentinian tango dancer and a teacher and organizer over here in London. I've been teaching for the last 3 years now. Been dancing tango for 9 years. And before that, I used to do salsa, ballroom, bachata, kizomba, Latin for 5 years. So overall dancing for 14 years now. And my focus in my classes is not only what to teach, but how to teach and the pedagogy of delivery of the teaching material, but also the mindset that I want students to have when it comes to their relationship with trust, which then expands into how they're able to connect first to themselves and then to the other. And I have the steps, but I always focus on I call it the tango essence. And this is the elements that I speak about in my classes. And that's what makes my classes specifically unique compared to the other classes out there.
Yes, it's beautiful that you integrate those topics also in your dance classes. So do you remember when you start dancing? So when was it? When did you start dancing? You said you dance now for a long time. And so what was the reason you started dancing? But also, how was it back then? And especially, how were the classes structured, the dance classes?
So before living in London, I used to live in Sydney, Australia. And my first salsa class was because I had too much time during my evenings and I didn't want to go home and I wanted to do something with it. But I love the creative arts. I'm a pianist myself. I write as well. So I thought, I haven't tried dance. Let's go for it. At that time when I started, it was the first salsa class and it was it was crossbody on one and it was a lot about the steps and rotating partners, etc. And at that time when I went, it was the underlying purpose. It was to relate to another person, and dance was the platform. Did I have any relational tools? Absolutely not. Right? We were never taught that in high school or part of our education system. How do you relate to a person? How do you communicate? How do you communicate verbally and non-verbally? How do you read intentions? How do you EQ? All of that, none of that existed. And I was overall generally curious in dancing, but I wasn't mature enough to understand the energy behind the movement, energy behind the connection, the energy behind the connection between multiple people, right? And the level of physical intimacy that was there, and the non-sexual element of it, right? So all of that also I wasn't aware of. And then now my relationship to dance has evolved and changed so much. Initially, it was more about connecting to the other, but now it's actually more connecting to myself so that I can connect to the other. So the connection to the other is still there, but that's not number one, it's number two. Because unless the basic, what is that famous phrase? Know thyself. Same concept. Unless I know how to connect to myself or know my nervous system, know where I am, my grounding, what is my emotional, mental, psychological state today, I can't show up for the other person right now. So today when I dance, I'm looking to expand the connection with myself through others. And it's different because I'm no longer looking for a certain expectation when I connect with others. I'm like, no, this is who I am today. I will show myself up. And if this is good enough, great. If not, it's okay. Be aligned today, fine, right? So it has evolved so much, and it has become a lot more richer and fulfilling and nourishing in that way. So now dance is part of my life and I know it will be part of my life forever, because initially when I started, I was like, oh, so much disappointment from people and all of these elements. Should I give up dance? So many times I was like, I'm done with dance. And now dramatic, right? But now it's a lot of depth. It's a lot of, okay, today, not much fireworks. Nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean I'm going to leave dance, right? It's like, today is just a flat day. But tomorrow, let's see. Not tomorrow, it's going to be great. Tomorrow, let's see, right? And I know forever I will dance. As long as this body can go, no one's going to stop me.
I think we all can resonate with that. There were moments also for me, I want to give up everything because nothing worked at all. Nothing. And not just for 1 minute or like 1 hour, like for days. And this can be really frustrating, right? So what you shared, there were so many topics we could discuss, I think, for more than hours, but let's focus on what you experienced on yourself, that partner dance is so much more than you've ever expected when you decided to go to dancing. Because I think I can relate to that to 100%, because for me it was the same. I just wanted to go dancing because something inside me drew me. I cannot even say now what. It was just an inner drive, let's say it. So I went totally blind without knowing anything about dance, life, and more. And then boom, it was kind of, after some weeks, it was like a wake up. Also after my first teacher asked me if I want to assist him in his classes. Then after training, we even decided to start a dance partnership. I didn't even ask question, what does it mean to my life? I just said yes without really, I was so super blind. And then it hit me totally. And then it was really like an awakening after some personal challenges. So I think this is really common for a lot of people, and we're not talking about it because we just go to dance expecting to have fun and all the time be happy, that I'm happy, that people are dancing and make me happy, probably. That is kind of our, I would say, desire or need. that someone does something to make me happy and I project this also onto dance.
Yeah.
That I can really fall into a hole when it doesn't happen all the time, because it's kind of an illusion of dance, of life in general, like also like in relationships, friendships, work, family, like all our lives. So when did the journey start for you? So when did you realize, wow, this is not as fun as I thought it would be?
It started quite early. I think within the first 6 months, I realized this is not this is not something you can just do and not expect any effect on you, right? It's a new chapter and you open up new things in your life. The struggle that I had probably for the first 10 years of my dancing chapter, I had the same mindset and I was trying to seek it just from different people, different dancing and different sources. And back to your point as well, going, thinking, okay, I have a bad day today. I'm going to go and dance because I know it's going to fix me. But what I'm really saying is I want someone else to fix me. Right. But I wasn't honest with myself. And there are many times where I had a bad day, went for the dance, came back even worse because I was looking for someone else to fix me. But if I went with the mindset and think, I'm going to surrender to the art of the dance, not to the actors of the dance, which are dancers, but to the art, then I'm open to the art healing me in the way the art thinks I deserve, right? It's like the universe. You surrender to the universe will decide what's best for you. But I didn't, right? And it's only the last, 5 years where I realized my relationship to dance has to change if I want it to be a positive impact in my life. Because I would spiral as well. I'm thinking, oh, should I do dance or should I move on to chess or to rock climbing or to different sport? Take myself away from this dance. It's too the nervous system is all of these neurons hitting me. But then I realized, no, I love it too much. Even at the airport when the music is going, my hips just goes, and I'm like, oh, I should stop. And I'm like, no, it's such a natural part of my body. Why should I reject it, right? So then I had to question my relationship to dance. I realized, okay, it's no longer it shouldn't be a source of validation, but it should be a source of depth, growth, expansion. And then the next question came, what does that actually mean? And for me, at the moment, I always feel to study the art itself, not the people, but the art. Okay, salsa music, where's the origin? Where is the roots? What did people used to do in Cuba? Why did salsa music come along? So much history. Same like tango. What is it from Buenos Aires? The beats came from Africa. Is it from Uruguay? All of this combination. How did it get to Europe? I started to rabbit hole myself into those, and I really enjoyed those after. And then my relationship went, this is a beautiful, beautiful knowledge base that I can forever study, forever enrich myself. And naturally, my body is no longer looking at people for connection. It's more looking at, okay, who are you today? Shall we connect? Yes. Shall we not connect? It's okay. Don't take it personally. That's the golden thing. Do not take it personally. Once I had that in my system, I became liberated, free. And now I love tango dance. I mean, dance tango. I love it more than ever. But because I'm free from the expectation of what it should give me.
Sounds very like a growing journey. And also it sounds like you changed your focus. You changed your focus from the outside and what can the outside give you, like other people you're dancing with or the dance itself, and start focusing on the inside. Like, okay, what actually do I need, and how can I show up in order to enjoy? So what is my relationship to myself? And this is always what I say. Your relationship to other people starts with yourself, starts with a relationship to yourself. And you can only have a good relationship at that level. You have the relationship to yourself. So it's just as good as the relationship with yourself. And this is something we are not learned in life, right? So we are always looking on the outside world, but it starts here inside us. And it's so challenging to start that work because a lot of people, first of all, we are all individual people. So we are all different, right? We need different things in life, but also we connect differently. And also maybe we think or we resonate dance differently. So how I interpret dance and how I surrender to the dance is maybe completely different than you are surrendering to the dance, right? And to find that really aligns with me, like fits to my integrity, it's not that easy because we are always adapting on our outside, on the world, because we have learned it, right? So it's kind of to find that point where we have that courage and like, okay, so now it's time to look inside and start connecting to myself. What do I want? What do I need? Really? What fits to me? What aligns to myself, to my personality? So how was the journey for you? How did you start to do that?
I really like, because so when we think of the outer world, we see the outer world, we can validate the outer world. I have a glass here, I can hold the glass, right? But when we talk about the cup or the glass of our inner world, we can't hold it. We struggle. It's abstract. And this is what I learned. I realized recently. I mean, even as a baby, how does the baby learn first? Through sight. Mommy and daddy is painting the wall. I'm going to paint the wall, right?
Yes, exactly.
This is because of our body, our evolution, the way we first learn information is through sight. Naturally, that is what we're always going to do, to look outside for validation, look outside for emotions, look outside for attention. And it's what drives a lot of things that we do today in society, naturally. And also with my students, for a long time, initially, actually, I would explain a lot. But then I realized, no, actually, when the way I do things is the best form of teaching them. So I just do what I want them to do. And after about 3-6 months, I see them, okay, exactly what I wanted. And they're like, Kiran, we didn't realize we are just doing what you are doing. I was like, okay, perfect. But when it comes to,
like you're like a daddy and they are just small kids like just copying you.
Exactly, and it became much easier because then when I got their body to move that certain way, then I would take the next time and say, okay, do you know why we're doing it this way? Initially, I went, this is what you need to do, why you need to do it, go and try. But now it's like, this is what you need to do. Just watch me for now. Once your body gets this, I will break it down, right? So I swapped the order. Their learning just skyrocketed. But back to your point, how did I go from outer to inner, right? It wasn't a choice. It wasn't one day I decided, I'm going to lead life differently. It more like I didn't have a choice. I was looking too much on the outside world and realized something doesn't relate. I'm not feeling something inside. I'm not feeling a sense of relational and growth, I don't know who I am. And there is a phrase or question they say: if you remove family, religion, career, friendship, your hobbies, can you still define who you are? What is your identity? And I started questioning and that really hit me COVID, because we had a lot of time, couldn't go out. And I started thinking, okay, if I remove my culture, my gender, etc., etc., the socially construct identities, who am I? Can I say who am I? And the answer was I couldn't say who I was. So then I started thinking, okay, this is not good. I go and build who I am, who I want to be, or I discover who I'm, naturally am, right? And I did a combination of both. There's nurture and nature, right? I'm like, okay, naturally, I like to do things this way. Naturally, I'm attracted to the creative arts. And then, nurture. What part of my nurture do I like? Indian culture, we have amazing food. Okay, keep the food, go for it, right? So I started almost, what is the word? Like gene editing my personality, like in my inner world. Okay, this is. And I said, okay, I mean, there's a lot of natural stuff, good, but there's also a lot of things that I want to be as a better person, a better man, a better individual. What do I do? And I just wrote those skills and say, okay, better EQ, better introspection, more patience, more groundedness. And I said, okay, those are the things that I want to work on. Go and research and build. But it has been a challenge because there wasn't a visual validation. It was a visceral validation. Like there will be a day where someone would say something to me and I realized, I'm no longer affected by what you said. That was the milestone. Okay, that was the growth, right? So then I had to discipline my inner validation to remind him and say, stop looking for validation, but celebrate yourself as and when you are evolving and growing. But it wasn't something that no one told me or guided me or therapy or whatever. It's just that one day I realized, you know what, I want to be able to I want to be able to show up as a person who is not attached to the outer world in a way that like, for example, if tomorrow something happens to me and I can't dance, yes, I will be sad, but it wouldn't be the end of the world because there's still so much about dance that I can continue to develop, I can still teach, God forbid, from a wheelchair, so there is still so much that I can do with that, right? And so now I'm at a phase where I don't really care what I see. It's more like, okay, where's my nervous system? What do I feel? Can I name the emotion? Oh, anger, you're here today again. Oh, welcome. Let's have tea. Oh, why are you here? Oh, happiness, you're here today. Oh, let's go and drink. Let's go and have a dance, right? And I don't put one emotion less or more than the other. They're all part of the spectrum, right? And they all have a essence to bring to the table. And I just be curious about it, right? Curiosity is my engine or my motivation. Ultimately, I'm always asking why. For
Like
me,
a
that's kind of
kid, like a small
yeah,
kid.
like a kid. Actually, yeah, we often uh, get frustrated by kids. I'm like, no, we should not stop the curiosity. We should
Yeah,
celebrate.
kids are such a great teacher for us adults.
Oh, yes,
It's
definitely.
And we think we know everything. Oh, I would say no. Let's switch around the roles. Kids are so playful and they are more intuitive, connected to themselves,
Yeah,
right? Until we step in and we bring all the layers and mask we think we should bring into our personality or what life and society and everything else was teaching us, and we think it's
yeah,
better.
yeah.
Yeah, I always say
It's,
kids are the greatest teachers.
yeah, it's interesting. I was one student I was teaching last week, and I was telling her, I'm not teaching you how to dance. I'm unlocking the part of you that has been put away when you were a child that stopped you from dancing, which is different because I say we are all natural dancers. Baby, you put music, they will start dancing. Why? No one knows. It's a natural part of a human being, right? So yeah, children have a lot to teach us.
Yeah, we are talking now about your responsibility as a dance teacher and how you teach. And I think this is very, very important, especially in those days where all these topics, these new topics, are more aware, also for dancers. Because back then, when I started to dance, no one were talking about this. No one.
Mm. Mm.
And I also, in COVID time, a bit earlier as well, I also faced personal challenges directly when I started dancing a few weeks, a month later. But in COVID time, I had a lot of time, as you.
Yes.
And so I did my own studies. I was searching for help and a lot of inner work. And then I also started to integrate those emotional and relational aspects into my dance classes.
Hmm.
But I was the first one I've ever seen.
Hmm.
So, and also people told me this.
Hmm.
And so when you are now integrating those topics in your own dance classes, so how do your students react? So what is your opinion also how is the dance teacher influences this, and what is the responsibility of a dance teacher, and how did that change over time, because it changed?
Yeah. Because of the structure of, capitalism and our world, creative arts has always been seen as secondary. The primary will be the maths, science, humanities. Even in school, they always say, go for science, you get a good career, go for accounting,
Yeah,
law,
it's
and all
true.
that.
Yeah.
So arts has always been seen as secondary, which means 10 years, 15 years ago, if you were to go to a dance class, it's because you wanted to have fun. And so the dance teacher's responsibility at that time was to ensure you had fun, right? Good music and teach you steps. It was more the what 10, 15 years ago. Do this salsa move or do this tango move and listen to the music if the music is good, etc. But today it's different. And I really saw this in COVID when people started reflecting on their life and their journey, what they wanted to do. And there was a massive uprise and interest and uptake, post-COVID in creative outlets, right? There's all the students that I see now are all post-COVID. I call them the post-COVID tango babies. I'm the pre-COVID tango baby. But it's no longer about the what. And the one phrase I would use is psychological safety. It's incredibly important. So before I go for these classes, so when I first started teaching, I would think, oh yeah, I'm just going to show up and teach this step and it will be fine. Done. And then I realized over time, no, I'm not just a dance teacher. I'm a space holder. I'm a facilitator. I am a mediator if there are arguments. I am someone who has to read the room to see what the energy is like. I am someone who has to come up with different ways of expressing that knowledge depending on who I teach. If there are 20 students in the class that evening, I have to come up with 20 different ways. So then the mental capacity started getting stretched and pushed. And I realized, oh, wow, we don't get paid enough for dancers as a dance teacher, right? Compared for the what we're being asked to deliver. But I always come back to this, psychological safety, and at the root of it, safety in all shape of forms, right? So then I ask myself, what does safety mean to me? How do I instill safety for myself? Like, what does me as a person require? What does me as a man require? how do I show up as to other people? How do I show up to other women? How do I show up to a community, etc.? I started reflecting on that. And so now my classes are, I would say, three areas. You have your basic, okay, this is the step today, and this is how we break it down. This is the dance. That has been taught for what, 40, 50 years. Same thing, right? I specialize on how I teach that. My teaching delivery is different. And I make them reflect, okay, think about this analogy, think about this analogy. Keep it simple. This is the root of the step, develop it. And I actually focus on developing their mindset to be their own teachers. And I often say, I don't want you to be forever students. Yes, financially it works for me, but actually it's not right for me in the long, and not right for you in the long run, because your dance will suffer and you will quit dance because you feel you've spent all this time and money on dance, but you didn't get anywhere. And I don't want that to be on me. So I say from day one, start thinking of how to build your tango. That's one element. The second element is, how do you show up? And we spoke about this. How do you show up for yourself? And what are you doing? Where are you in your system? Yes, we've had a long day at work and you're coming after work, and you need to recognize you may have had a challenge at work. And I always say, whatever happens outside the dance class, keep it at the door. When you come in with the mindset that you are here to experience dance in its full form, right? Because that impacts everyone else's experience after that, right? And the last form is safety. And this is for both roles, right? Both the leaders and responders or followers. How do you instill safety in the individual that's dancing with you? And it can be both verbal and non-verbal as well. And in tango, it's a lot more, because there's a lot more intimacy. I have that conversation a lot more, right? And one of the things, especially I say to the women, for example, in tango, you dance 3 to 4 songs, 4 songs in a row with one person, which is a lot, can be a lot. 10 minutes with one person with that level of intimacy, it's a lot on the nervous system if you're not used to it. And often I hear the questions from women, Kiran, do I have to stay for the whole 3 songs? I say no. At any point, you don't want to, you feel unsafe, you don't feel like it, you don't need a reason. You just say, no, thank you, walk away. You don't have to ever explain to yourself. You don't have to ever explain to the other person. You don't need a reason. No means no. Yeah. And that's something I really emphasize.
Yeah, I love that you're bringing up those topics, especially of saying a no, because even today I hear so many people who really, want that people are always saying yes to a dance, or if they say no, please with an explanation, with a reason, right? But no, you don't need a reason to say no. That's also what I have learned. I needed to learn this as well, because I have learned also to say yes to everything, because it was my own fear. Like, when I'm really honest, and you need to be honest in that journey of growth, you need to be truly honest to yourself. And the reason why I said yes to everything, because it was my own fear. It was my own fear of getting rejected, of getting a no from others, because it's not a nice feeling, because I had a lot of self-worth issues. So I said yes to others, even though I was not feeling good. Yes, and back then I had teachers who were teaching me this as well. So say yes to every dance. And back then I was very insecure. So I was not even questioning what they told me. But after I did the inner work and like, no, I don't feel good, I'm allowed to say no. And then I start practicing saying no and really tell my boundaries. First saying no to a dance, then really stopping a dance because I feel not good. And then I really start practicing also saying no without any reason. Just no, I don't want. And this triggers a lot of people, especially in our dance community. especially in social dance, where we are interacting with so many different people and we are kind of dependent on others to dance with. So we are going around and asking a lot of people to dance. And most of the time, what people say, even today, like, it's not nice to get a no and to say a no. And of course not, right? Like, of course, we all want a yes because it fills our ego.
Yes.
It fills our cup of validation. Like, oh, I'm good enough. I get another yes. Of course, it feels better than getting a no. But if you say yes to yourself, if your cup is anyway full, like, okay, I'm good enough, no matter if the dancer doesn't want to dance with me or not, actually doesn't bother me. So it was just this explanation, this reason was just an excuse. Just an excuse not to say no. And I'm quite sure all the teachers who gave that, like, advice are just facing the same topics, like we all do. But they were never at that point to really questioning it. So they just use it maybe from their teacher. So, right.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to give the same advice to my students because I know how I felt when I said yes and they wanted to say no. And I didn't want for my students to experience the same feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's so
this is
funny.
quite a
Oh,
huge
sorry.
topic. I think we could do a podcast only because of that topic, saying no and setting healthy boundaries. Because even today, like, people are really struggling with that. And this comes back all to our fears of being not good enough, of this wound of being not good enough, wound of self-worth issue. No, I'm not worthy. And this is a deep wound we all carry. And, but so important also for our dance journey and also for our students, right? I think the teacher is so important as a role model today to teach also those kinds of topics, also to say no to a dance, like you tell your students. So I really love that you also teaching your students topics like, no, you're allowed to say no, of course. And you even don't have to say an explanation. You don't need to justify your no to no one. Like, it's about setting boundaries and also about accepting boundaries.
I like that. Yeah,
So
yeah.
how,
Exactly that.
no, yeah, go ahead.
I love what you just said. Is setting boundaries and accepting or celebrating boundaries and not taking it personally. And when I look back at my earlier days, I used to go, okay, if I dance with 5 people tonight, I've earned my ticket and my train time and whatever. You know, I've got a return in my investment, you know, of dressing up and going.
Collecting the points, right? And collecting validation.
Like a badge, right?
Yeah, I have my checklist here and like, tick, tick.
Then as I got more advanced, it became, no, if this person is here tonight, I get to dance with this person tonight, my night is made, I only need one dance with this person and I'm going home, right? But you're absolutely right. Like, I associated my growth in my dance with the acceptance of others wanting to dance with me. And back to what you just say, a lot of times my previous teachers would say, oh, Kiran, you're really good. Many people want to dance with you. That statement is like, oh, you're really good because many people want to dance with you.
It's like, oh, I'm good. So that is then the kind of reward, right? That's the reward. Oh, many people want to dance with me. And that fills my ego. I'm good. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
You're right.
And then it becomes your identity. And this can be a trap. But what happens when, like you said, something happens and you are sick for the next few weeks, months maybe, because your body cannot dance anymore, what happens then?
Exactly.
Then you're not anymore good enough, right? So it can be also go in the other direction, and this can be a really trap. So this is then the whole bubble we are in.
It's a big ego trap, and so many times I would say, oh yeah, I'm a really good like I would tell myself, I'm a really good dancer when I go to milongas, which is tango social dance parties. Oh yeah, there's a queue of women who want to dance with me. I must be a good dancer. And then when I removed that association, I realized, oh, I'm an okay dancer. I need to work on my dancing. But that's when the growth continued to be infinite, exponential. I really grew even more, although I've been dancing tango for 9 years, but the growth really came through in the last 3 years. The first 6 months was like my relationship with the dance was a lot about external validation, and associating acceptance and belonging as part of my identity and growth. And now it's more like, okay, do I really understand this particular step when I do it? Can I find a different way to do it? Oh, this music, how come I haven't thought about this? Or let me revisit this music. And then I was just like, oh, wow, I can spend a whole lifetime learning all of this. Okay, my life is set. This is one of my hobbies. My time is set for the next 50 years. I'm going to do all of this. But exactly it's still the same thing in every dance scene. Even you have a long queue of dancers who want to dance with you. Kiran, you make everyone happy when they dance with you, right? And then it's the ego trap. And then we start going to this place thinking, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this. Because these days, because I teach a lot, I don't get much time for social dancing. But I don't miss it anymore. Because it's the growth of the tango that I do in myself. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still developing. I'm still going. Oh, there's a social party. Oh, am I free? Okay, let's go. If not, it's not the end of the world, because I don't use that social connection as a source of validation of my tango journey. Although it's a social dance, yeah, it is a bit contradicting, but it's the healthy way for it to be part of my life that allows me to expand and grow and not take anything personally from others when they start projecting or when they say no as well. I'm just like, I honor your journey in the same way I honor my own journey.
Beautiful. I want to come back to something you shared a few minutes ago about psychology safety. I think it's also very, very important, this topic, because when we are going into a dance class, when we are organizing an event, it is also now a big, big topic nowadays. But also when we just do something with others and we are holding that space, so we act as a role model, as a teacher, in my point of view, you also acting. So we need to provide psychological safety, right? So, and this is very important. And also it all comes back to our safety, of course, inside. So how do you feel? How do I feel safe inside? Because this is again like putting everything on the outside person. You need to make something in order that I feel safe. And I put all these expectations and these rules again on other persons. And yes, it's always a dynamic between people, right? So I cannot consider it separately at all. Yes, it's true. It's a dynamic, but it starts with me. It starts always with me. And I can start doing the first initiative, right? I can go first. Because when I feel safe inside, I can bring that safety outside, so I can share it to the others as well. But also people directly feel that. They feel that safe environment. Yes. And it has also something to do with trust as well, right? How do I trust myself and others? especially in partner dance, because we are in some dance styles like Argentino Tango, but there are also more. They are more physical close. So how would you describe, like, how important is trust and safety in partner dance and in dance class? And how can someone build it when they now know, okay, I'm struggling with that, and actually I put everything on the outside. So what is your advice here for someone?
I would say there are two, when it comes to psychological safety, there are two sources of it. One is from me as a space holder, as a teacher. In a nutshell, it's honoring people and celebrating where they are in life as they come to my class as they are. Do not ask for more. Do not compare them to others. Do not pressure them. Some students get it quick. Some students need a bit more explanation. Some students need a bit more time. There was one student who first came 3 months ago to one of my classes. And he comes from a culture where even talking to women is a big thing. And in Argentinian tango, you hug a woman. So it was a big thing for him, right?
You skip some steps, right?
So, and I recognized when I started speaking more about him, more to him, and I said, what culture, what is your upbringing? I realized, but I wasn't generalizing, but I know that from that specific culture, there's a bit of distance from men and women, right? They don't interact. Okay.
So again, you are curious. You are asking a lot of questions. You are curious. You're open to his experiences, to his culture, and what he, in which culture he was growing up.
Exactly.
So so it sounds like you wanted to understand his perspective.
And all it took was 2 minutes. Where were you born? What did you grow up? What was your heritage? That's it. And then immediately I'm like, okay. Not definitely, but likely these are the interactions. So then I started like, okay, paying attention. When he is alone, his body language was confident, strong. And when we did some solo exercises, he never has any problems. The moment he's in front of a woman, he starts sweating. He starts stuttering sometimes. So then I come to him, I said, look, you are good. You just need time. Allow your body to take the time that it needs to. You don't need to go at the pace of this class. You don't need to go at the pace of the material. If today you get one thing, you take that and you celebrate it. And every week, in some shape or form, I told him that, yeah? And now after 3 months, like he comes, he's like, Kiran, I'm so sorry. I'm missing your class next week. It's the highlight of my week, but I'm coming back the week after. And he's so excited and he knows how to ask questions. I never taught him that, but because I gave him the space for him to simply be himself, he was like, you know what? I want to learn this dance. I don't know where it's going to take me, but I'm going to ask until I get the answer. And he asked now some of the best questions. All I did was provide a psychological safety for him to be himself, nothing else.
Beautiful.
Right? So that's me as a space holder. Yeah, that's one element, right? And that comes in all shape or forms with different people, different gender, phase of life, different etc. You kind of see these things, like, and also I generally read a lot outside and I'm always trying to understand different cultures and different upbringings so that I can bring that into classes. So that helps as well. But the second one is the individual psychological safety. How do I show up for myself? I'm talking about this as a student. When I go to a class, if I don't understand something, do I feel confident enough to say, look, I need you to explain that to me again? And it doesn't matter if I look slower than the other students, but actually, in fact, no one is measuring your speed. No one cares. Everyone is coming to dance for themselves. everyone's mental capacity is stretched with like, oh, what is this step? How do I do? No one is watching. Oh, that person learns quicker than me. No one. Okay. We have this subconscious, oh, this person is going to judge me because I'm slow. I'm like, and every time I go to different, Kiran, sorry, I'm not getting this. I'm like, no, you are here to learn. There is no sorry, right? So I always say, please, if you don't understand something, this is the place to ask questions. Otherwise, why are you paying money? I'm cheating you if you're not asking questions, right? That's from the knowledge. But the most important part, I would say, is how do you hold yourself responsible as a student when it comes to your own safety? And it comes back to boundaries. Do you know how to say no? And even in a class, without needing to understand why your body is rejecting that person or that step or that movement, you don't need to understand it yet because the body needs a bit more time to process after this. But the body will immediately tell you no at the point in time. You need to listen to that no. You don't need to know the why immediately. But if the no comes through, go for it, right? So this is why I ask, because as a space holder, I can provide only so much psychological safety, and I do so. But as an individual, you need to hold responsibility of what psychological safety you hold for yourself when it comes to other people, when it comes to learning, when it comes to the pace, when it comes to, oh, today my right hip, not the best. Don't push. It's never going to go anywhere. Go and sit down for 20 minutes or maybe even take a break from classes. I had one lady who she had a lot of knee problems. She said, Kiran, I'm going to be away for about 2 months because my knee's not the best at all. I said, no, go. Let your body recover. Take it easy. And then she figured out how to come back, put, a few knee bandages around her knee, and she came back. She's like, no, Kiran, I can do it now, but I'll be slow. I'm like, I'm not telling you to go fast. Only you are telling you to go fast, right? But that psychological safety is the most important one because it's something you can develop and something that no one can ever take away from you. Even if you have a dance teacher or facilitator who doesn't prioritize psychological safety, and I know, especially in the Argentinian Tango, many people do not prioritize psychological safety. It's more like, oh, this is simple.
I know also a lot. I know them also in other dance styles.
It's always like, this is how I learned. I got it in 2 months. Why are you getting it? And they project, right? And for me, it's always like, no, that is the worst thing. And I've had that myself many times. A lot of my previous teachers were like, Kiran, I learned this in 2 months. You are taking 6 months. Why? What is the reason? And I could never explain it. But because also now looking back, there was a mental block to ask questions because I know every time I say that, I would get that response. Oh, you're slow. Oh, you're not getting this. So, and actually my best growth happened without teachers, unfortunately, because I developed my own way of learning, my own way of understanding, and I went with it. And so that's why when I started teaching, one thing I held myself accountable was I want to be the safest place when a student comes to me. I want them to associate the name.
Beautiful goal.
Right?
Yeah, that's a beautiful goal. And it's so important, like you were just sharing the example with one of your students with us. And then in the end, he shared with you, oh, your class is the highlight of my week. Look what positive impact you had. Like, this is so amazing. It's amazing to hear. And this is also what I think this dance teacher has a great, great responsibility if we also cover topics like psychology safety. And also it shows a lot of trust to you. Like he was opening up. So he trusted you. So directly when there is safety, of course, people slowly, of course, in their own pace, like opening up and they give trust. And this is something very beautiful that they trust you. as a teacher as well. And even when they go to your class, they trust you already because they pay money, they pay their energy, their time. So, right, it's a giving and receiving. And of course, they want to learn dance skills. Yes, they want to be a better dancer. And there's nothing to say against something. I want to be a better dancer if it comes from an internal motivation. So, but we as a teacher, we have also like a responsibility there. And trust is, in my point of view, beautiful when they trust you.
Yeah. These days, the criteria of whether you should be teaching is whether you're a good dancer, not a good.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, salsa and tango, bachata, all the same. Well, any dance
Yeah,
styles,
all the
not
same.
not
Yeah,
Latin America
nowadays,
only.
yeah.
Every dance style, like ballet,
Yeah.
it should really be. Do you know the different styles of learning, the pedagogy of teaching? Do you know that? But
Yes.
also, do you know what it means to be a safe zone? Yeah,
Yes.
and
Can you
especially,
handle people, right? Because people are not robots. They are human beings with emotions, with past experiences, with their own life, with their stories and everything. Probably, maybe some of them, they have really struggles in life and they come to your class just to distract themselves. Can also be, right? So yeah, we all interact with different people, especially in dancing because there are so many.
yeah.
So yeah, it's very important. So how did you, so you said you developed your own methodology. So did you try out different things or
So what
how did you
happened was
develop
when
your
I
own
started,
methodology today?
hmm. So when I started, I was always thinking about the what, this step, that step, this step, that step. But then 3 months in, I started asking, how am I different? What is my USP? Like unique
Mhm.
step, being economist finance perspective. But then and then I started to think, okay, hold on a minute. Like the question I asked myself, if I could be my own teacher, what would that look like? And then I realized, oh, if I want, from there, I'm like, no, I wanted someone who would be curious about my journey, you know?
Mhm.
Like for example, for me, I'm deaf on one side. I'm deaf on the right, and sometimes I struggle with hearing in general. Yeah, and only one teacher asked me, Kiran, why do you have a hearing device on the back here? Tell me the story. We ended up sitting down and talking about, I had multiple health issues when I was younger, blah blah blah, and he is the only one who said, is this why you say this when I say this? And I said, actually, I don't know, but I think you're right. And he took the time to learn me. But this was one of my coaches. Of course, at a private lesson basis, there's more time. But ultimately, I asked myself, if I could be my own teacher at the start of my own dance journey, what would I want from that teacher? And it was no longer about steps. It was more about celebration, encouragement, patience, teaching me
Mhm.
how to understand my nervous system, how to show up for myself, right? I mean, we say this, it means dance teacher should have 5, 10 qualifications after their names, because of all of the different skills, right? But then I started reading up, okay, what does safety feel like just as us as humans? How do I encourage more quicker learning? It's not about 10 hours in a dance studio. It's not about everything. Then I realized I started reading about, and it led me to about safety, to about trust, self-trust, trust with others, self-safety, safety with others. Then I started thinking, okay, you know what? I don't care about the steps anymore. I really don't care. I'm going to focus on, you've had a long day at work. Despite that, you are here at 7 p.m. in my class. You've come, money is there, but you've come and paid with your time and energy. I'm going to honor your time and energy the best that I can. Right? And then a lot of times I would ask, and this is especially more for the women because a lot of them take up the follower role or the responder role. And I tell them, your role is to not respond to the leader. And they look at me. I say, yes, it's a partner dance, but I want you to first respond to your nervous system, listen to your body, establish your own self-connection.
Yeah.
Because then the leader can plug into that self-connection. But if that's self in the first place, you can't, right? And then they're like, and you can see the relief on their face when they're like, oh, I don't have to care about him in a healthy way. I don't have to like get his steps or catch his step. I'm going to focus on feeling grounded, feeling calm. Do I need more water? Okay, I'm going to get more water. I'm not going to wait for the break. I'm going to say, look, 10 seconds. Let me go get some water. Empowering the students to accept them as they are when they arrive to my classes. And it doesn't matter if they can't name it, but to just embrace, okay, today it's hot. My brain is a bit slow. My learning is going to be slow. Okay. If I can pick up 2 things today, great. If not the end of the world. But because of that self-acceptance and self-love, oh my gosh, their learning accelerated because it's a mindset thing. It's a mind block.
Yes, definitely. That is also what I have experienced on my own journey, but also then on my students. That when I really strengthened my trust, my inner safety, and released all my mental and emotional blockages, oh my gosh, my learning increased like whoosh, without having any dance partner, without training that much.
Exactly.
Right? Just because I worked on myself and just find all the barriers within myself that just were getting me in the way. And I saw this also on my students when I integrated this emotional and relational aspects in partner dance. And I can really just suggest everyone, and I can really invite everyone to just try it out. And just hearing the way you teach is like so beautiful and so amazing. I would really love to just visit once your class. Just to see
it's
another teacher who is teaching with that methodology and with that pedagogy. It's beautiful. I love to hear that.
Yeah. And I it's I don't have a name for it, and it's nothing special. There is no new elements. I'm just pulling knowledge from other fields into it. It's just a composition of it that's unique, right? Because I pulled it together, but it's not new knowledge. And it's something that, I don't have a degree in psychology or learning. It really is just Google search and having that interest
it takes a little bit more effort. It takes a little bit more effort, right? Curiosity, also honesty, because it starts with you as a teacher, right?
Yeah.
So even though you had not a teacher like that, me neither, but I felt there is something missing. And no, that's not the whole picture of dancing. Even though 99% of the dance teacher I had and I know were teaching the half of the picture, but all the time I felt, no, that's not a full picture. Something very, very important topics are missing. And then we have the full picture.
Yes, exactly.
So it takes effort, of course. You need to study a completely new topic, right? You need to be curious and invest in new things, to learn new things as well, and then to try and fail. Because this is your own new journey. You will try, you will fail. Maybe people don't like it. You will also lose students who don't want this.
Yeah.
This is also part of the journey. I needed to learn too. And it was hard to learn this, but this is part of it, right? And then you build your own personality, your own methodology, and people will, and when you stick to that, when it comes really from the bottom of your heart and you know, no, this feels right to me, new people will come, new students will come, students who really appreciate this teaching way.
Yeah. Yeah,
And you
yeah,
can
yeah.
really help them, right? You can help them with their struggle. And this is more worth than anything else, just
Oh,
in
yeah,
my point of view.
definitely, definitely. I mean, like, so yesterday I was teaching one of my regular students, and I was teaching them a specific step, which I've taught 100 times in this specific way, and it always worked. But yesterday it didn't work for them, right? And then I'm like, oh,
Interesting.
something is not working. But also I was like, it's curiosity and honesty. I'm like, okay, well, hold on, this isn't working. But instead of forcing it onto them just because it's worked 100 times with other people, I'm just like, which part are you missing? Tell me what's going on in your head. What's going on in your body? And because I asked that question within 20 minutes, I found the way 101 to teach that same book, right? But exactly back to your point, I need to be honest that I will never ever explore everything that can be explored. There's always a question, I don't know what I don't know, right? So
Yes.
after every lesson, my head is like in the background. Could I have explained that differently? Could I have done that? Or this person needs this, or this person needs this. Da 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 da. And I love that because I hold myself accountable to be the most impactful teacher where possible. Of course, there's 20 people. It's difficult to be impactful on 20 people, but as much as possible, I want to try, right? So I think, yeah, but exactly what you said, the constant curiosity, but also the constant honesty that I am still going to get it wrong for the rest of my life. And that's okay, right? That's okay. And I realized, like, back to one of your points, so it's always the perfectionists who are like, oh, Kiran, I'm not getting this step today. I'm like,
Yes.
it's not the step, it's the mindset that's stopping you. The moment,
Totally,
yeah,
absolutely.
it's somewhere I read actually the biggest obstacle to success or to progress is the fear of making mistake. Once you do that, we fly.
Yeah, that's a beautiful quote. Definitely. I can totally agree with that. So we need to come to an end. So unfortunately, I think we could talk for hours about those topics. So, but I have still a few questions in the end for you.
Sure.
And so, so to everyone who's listening right now, either they're a beginner or they're more advanced. So what is your advice, or what is the one thing you want that they take away from our conversations? Yeah, which advice would you give them when they struggle right now, for example, in their confidence, in their trust, in their mindset? Yeah, what is the one thing?
Take responsibility and accountability of your dance journey.
So what does it mean?
Because along the way, you will have teacher that isn't right for you. You will have environment that isn't right for you. You have people that isn't right for you. You can stop and say, okay, that teacher wasn't a good teacher. That is why I stopped dance. Or you can say, I love this dance. I'm going to find another teacher that suits my alignment, suits my learning, right? You can take responsibility and stop blaming external factors because they are beyond your control. But what is in your control is whether you keep going or you keep progressing, because these factors will never stop. There will always be another teacher that's not right, always be another person who's going to be difficult, always be another social dynamic that isn't right.
Yes.
Find what aligns with your body, stay true to that, be authentic, and go.
Beautiful.
Keep
Thank
calm and
you.
dance on. That's what I say.
Thank you for that advice. I think it's very, very important, and it's a journey. So it takes also time. So now, two personal questions, surprise questions. If your dance journey were a book or a movie, what would be the title and why?
Oof. Um, ah, So if my dance journey was a book or a movie, I would say discovery.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm constantly discovering new things about my body, my nervous system, myself, but also discovering new things about dance in general and different people. It's a constant new world for me. And I love that aspect. I think that's one of the things it motivates me to keep going, because I'm like, what's going to happen today? Let's discover. I'm open to the experience, right? For me, with a constant discovery, because for me that not uncertainty, but like the possibility of something new excites me all the time.
Beautiful. Really beautiful. Thank you for sharing this with us. The second question, I love the topic of gratitude. I think this is really powerful to practice gratitude. So what fills your heart with gratitude every single day?
When I have left people a little better than when I found them. In every space, teaching, to the shops, the bus driver, the little things.
Beautiful. So let us know if Kiran could make a positive impact to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please write us.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
we're all going through a lot in life, and we never know
Mm,
behind even the most beautiful smile what's happening, right? I
yeah,
think
that's
be a
true.
little kinder and empathetic to each other and curious, and hold our judgments and projections. Because everyone has their own journey, and we're all ultimately walking each other home.
Definitely. It's like the just basic humanity, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I miss this sometimes as well.
Yes. Basic
So
humanity.
let's bring it back. Let's bring it
Yes.
back.
Yeah.
Kiran, it was so lovely to chat with you the last 60 or a bit more, 70 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
So lovely. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
before we end, just share with all the listeners where they can find you. So when they want to just continue the conversation with you, or when maybe they're in London and they want to visit your dance class or your event. So just share with the listeners where they can
Yeah,
find
sure.
you.
The main school, the school that I teach with at the moment is called Tango Amistoso. If you just Google them up, I teach them Mondays and Wednesday classes.
I will also put everything in the show notes. So, and
Perfect.
with the links and everything. Yeah.
Perfect. And then my Instagram handle is the best way. All the information is centralized there, kiransp.tangero, which will be in the link after this. But yes, and of course, private lessons are there, but the group classes are Mondays and Wednesdays, and occasionally when I need to step in Fridays and Saturdays. But Amistoso, Tango Amistoso is the main school. And please, would love to see you if you ever visit London, or if you are in London, please do come to one of the classes, and please come and say hi, and so that I know you found me through the podcast. It would be nice to know as well.
And do you organize also still events?
I used to, yes, 2 years ago. I've taken a bit of a break. Now I'm just in teaching mode. And one of the reasons I took a break because I wanted to develop the teaching in a better state. But I will start probably towards next year.
Well, when you start, just give us a note, heads up, and we will all come. Okay, Kiran. So it was such a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time and all the insights you share with us. It's really amazing, and you're a great teacher, and all your students can be really happy to have you as a teacher.
I try. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I would love to hear your takeaway, so feel free to comment or reach out on Instagram. And if this episode spoke to you, please leave a review for others and share it with someone who might need to hear this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Keep dancing. Keep loving.